cause for celebration. Today, there is cause for celebration, at least if you are a man or woman or child of Michigan. Congratulations, Michigan man, woman, child, and pet. You did it. You did it. You get to keep your natty. Your totally untainted, completely pure national championship. Of course, all of Ann Arbor would be celebrating on a day where their beloved, prestigious institution of higher learning was hit with the following: 4 years of probation, a series of fines that could reach $30 million, a 10% reduction of the football program budget, a 25% reduction in official visits for the coming season, a 10-year show cause order for Jim Harbaugh, an 8-year show cause order for Connor Stalions, a 3-year show cause order for Denard Robinson, an additional 1-game suspension in 2026 for Sharon Moore, in addition to that self-imposed 2-game suspension in 2025. Damn, what a win. What a great day, Michigan man, Michigan woman, Michigan kid, Michigan pet. You did it. What a great, great day. Man, that sounds like vindication to me. Man, this Michigan team is so innocent and so righteous that the NCAA just can't stop hammering them with penalties. You know you didn't do anything wrong when the punishments just keep raining down for years after the fact. And look, Michigan man, before you come running up in here, I know what you're all saying. They didn't rip our natty. Anybody would pay this price for a championship. Yeah, okay. First of all, I'm not even saying you're wrong about that, but you're wrong about a lot of things. First of all, only innocent programs worry about their championships being vacated. Everybody knows this. If you knew all along you did nothing wrong and you were so innocent, why are you partying so hard right now? Second of all, right, everybody would pay for that championship. Everybody would pay that price for a championship. You're right about that, Michigan man. That's right. You and everybody else would pay for that. So what I mean by that is you're not better than everybody else the way you always tell us. You're not better than everyone. You're not different than everyone. You're just like everyone, except you got caught. So now would be a great time to stop acting like you're better than the rest. Now would be a great time to stop acting like you're different from the rest, because you're not. You're not at all. No, they did not rip your natty, but they're still coming for you over that natty. They didn't rip that natty, but anytime you ever bring that natty up ever again, whoever you're talking to is going to immediately bring up the entire cheating scandal thing. This championship is always going to be referenced right alongside that absurd Connor Stalions ordeal. I mean, I don't really believe in asterisks, but that's as close as you can get to an asterisk. I don't believe in vacating championships either. That's one of the dumber things. That game did happen. Michigan did win. They did get handed the trophy. Jim Harbaugh did fixate on the confetti.
You watch this confetti come down, it's like thousands of confetti. It tells a story. There's a story in every one of those pieces of confetti to me.
Right, bro. Just like snowflakes. Just like snowflakes. There's a story in every one of those pieces of confetti. There's a cheater in that confetti. There's a cheater in that piece of confetti. There's a liar in that piece of confetti. There's a sign stealer in that piece of confetti. Anyway, but it all happened. Michigan did win that day. Michigan got over. I'm not even denying that. There is no erasing that. However, stop acting like you're the victims, Michigan men. Don't try to tell us that you were unfairly targeted. And definitely do not try to tell us that it didn't help. Why would they do it if it didn't help? Why did they have such an elaborate scheme if it didn't help? Why would they try to cover it up if it was completely innocent? It didn't help and they did nothing wrong. And yes, and by the way, you know the cover-up is always worse than the crime. And yes, we know they tried to cover it up. Sharon Moore deleted texts. He lied about deleting texts and then admitted that he deleted the texts in reaction to the news breaking about the whole thing. Initially, and this is incredibly rich, and by rich I mean lame and hilarious. This is one of my favorite parts of the story. Initially, Moore blamed deleting the texts on storage space, which is absolutely awesome and hilarious. Must have been a bleep ton of texts from Stalions if he didn't have enough storage space for all of them. Moore must have been like, man, I got hours of video of the sidelines, of our future opponents, taking up all my data, guys. I obviously cannot save every text that comes in too. And then he probably started crying and professing his love for Jim Harbaugh all over again.
Harbaugh? Love you, man. Love the shit out of you, man. This is for you.
This is my quarterback. This is my coach, man. This is my coach, man. This is my storage, man. I only got 256. I knew I should have got 512. It's my coach, man. I love him. And I love my phone. And I love my storage. I just didn't have enough.
University, the president.
Come on, man.
Our AD.
Yo, dude, next time you engage in an elaborate cheating scheme, I don't know, maybe pay for extra storage or a phone that comes with more base storage so you don't get busted deleting anything. Details, dude. And that's right. That's right. You knew it was wrong and had to delete it regardless of whether or not you had the storage. I mean, what an incredible thing to say to investigators. I deleted it because I needed the storage. I didn't have the storage, so I deleted the incriminating data. It's maybe the dumbest thing I've ever heard anybody tell an investigator. So Stalions, meanwhile, goes a step further than just deleting texts. He straight ditched his phone in a pond. A pond. By the way, that's some Dateline bleep right there. That's some 48 hours bleep right there. That's some 2020 bleep right there. The phones always end up on the side of the road, in the weeds, or in the water. I mean, what's more innocent than ditching your phone in a body of water? Who hasn't done that? Clearly the action of a normal person who did nothing wrong with nothing to hide. I mean, honestly, who amongst us has not lobbed their phone into a pond or a lake or a river or a stream or a bog or a swamp or a bay or a lagoon or a moat or tried to flush it down the toilet? Who hasn't done that? Who hasn't thrown their phone in a moat? I mean, come on. Yes, the ultra expensive iPhone, before you throw this in my face, the ultra expensive iPhone that I bought overseas that fell out of my pocket into Cranberry Lake in Wisconsin several years ago. That was unintentional. I didn't throw that in the lake because I had things to hide. Quite the contrary. I dove into that lake as soon as it happened, like I was looking for sunken treasure, because that's exactly what it was, given what I paid for that phone. Which, by the way, was never the same, even though I was able to fish it out myself. Now, the funniest detail to come to light today about Stalions and that scheme was that he called his network of people filming the sidelines the KGB. He even referred to the dirty tape that they were obtaining as dirty tape. But he did nothing wrong, and it was perfectly okay that he was doing that, and this is all just one big witch hunt. Right, Michigan man? Whatever you say, Michigan men. I love this line, too, from the NCAA, and I quote, Harbaugh ran a program that was largely dismissive of rules compliance. There was little, if any, emphasis on following the rules. End of quote. Largely dismissive of rules compliance is a hilarious way to say cheated their asses off. But, Jim Harbaugh had no idea any of this was happening. Harbaugh's like, wait, there were rules? What rules? Nobody told me about any rules. There was no attempt to skirt the rules because I didn't know there were rules. How can you try to skirt something that you didn't know existed? I was putting little, if any, emphasis at all on following any rules because I didn't know there were any rules. Come on, Rome. You know he didn't know. All right, he didn't know. If he didn't know, it's because he didn't want to know. And if he didn't know, he should have known. And none of it matters now. They could have given this dude a 50-year show cause. He's in the NFL. He ain't coming back. He doesn't care. He won his natty. He's killing it with the Chargers. 10 years? 50 years? 100 years? The hell does it even matter? So now the real question is this. A lot of people have right now is the question, why didn't they get a postseason ban? There is no postseason ban. They just were dinging them money. Why no postseason ban? Fair question. The NCAA's answer to that is because it would, quote, unfairly penalize student athletes for the actions of coaches and staff who are no longer associated with the Michigan program. And by the way, they broke off a lot of those dudes. You know what, though? That's actually fair enough. It's not much of a deterrent for teams to pull similar antics in the future, mind you. Like I said, at that cost, many people would buy a national championship. I understand, though, not wanting to penalize players who had nothing to do with it. However, come to find out, at least one player did have something to do with this and was in on Connor Stalions' elaborate scheme as well as the cover-up. According to the NCAA, a student athlete and an intern were directly involved. When the bleep hit the proverbial fan, Stalions, quote, instructed intern one to, quote, clear out emails, photos, texts, and videos related to the scouting scheme, end of quote. You know, once again, as completely innocent people do. I'm surprised he didn't tell intern one to go full paper shredder. I'm surprised he didn't tell intern one to just burn Schembechler Hall right to the ground, just to be safe. So, in the end, Schembechler Hall, put Schembechler Hall on the ground. In the end, Michigan, men, women, children, pets, you got over trees, shrubs, blades of grass, concrete. In the end, you got over. You did. You've got your natty. Nobody's taking that from you. You cheated, and you won, and you got away with it. And, of course, you would gladly pay this price for a natty. Anybody would. Get super, super wealthy boosters. They'll scratch the check. Moore misses a couple of games. And by the way, I'm not saying that you're the only one that would do this. Here's what I am saying. Stop telling us this nonsense about how you're different. Stop telling us this nonsense about how you're better. Because you're neither one of those things. You're not different, and you're not better. And you can also say that none of this bothers you. But the louder you say that it doesn't bother you, the more that I know it does bother you. And you're not better, and you're not different, and you were caught. Hey, Rome, aren't you the one who always says, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, and it's only cheating if you get caught? Yes, I am. And guess who got caught? You did. You did.